So, guys, let's continue with some more advanced thing about one minute about Prometheus and the Grafana. Right. Let me first share my screen. So again, multiple plan, guys. What is Prometheus? We have discussed. What is Grafana? We have discussed, and I believe you guys have successfully set up those things. So in my case, I have set up Grafana or the Prometheus in the Kubernetes cluster, and they are running in a pod. So that's what we have right now. So let me launch. By the meantime, what's my plan today? Plan is very straightforward. I would like to do some more advanced query on the PromQL. Okay, very basic query we have discussed, even though I remember we also have discussed about how to use regex or the regular expression on the PromQL. Plus very basics graph we have seen in the Grafana. So my plan is to show you some more advanced graph and how to use the Grafana dashboard or the panel, and then at the same time also how to use some advanced PromQL query. But before this, I just want to quickly revise about the PromQL because I would like to add one more target today on the PromQL server. So what is target? What is our PromQL? You guys know, but very quickly let me explain. So if you have a need, sorry, if you have a need to monitor your systems, right? Now at your choice, you would like to monitor the entire operating system, right? Or you would like to only monitor one application running inside the OS, or you would like to monitor neither the operating system, neither the application, but you would like to monitor the server, like Apache web server. Okay, so what you need is, okay, so if you just want to monitor server, or you want to monitor entire node, or you want to monitor only the PHP code or app server or Java code, what your need is. So whatever you monitor, whatever you would like to monitor, that's called instrument or instrumenting the things. It's called instrumentation. So I would like to do node instrumentation. I would like to do application instrumentation. I would like to do Apache web server, Tomcat server, whatever you guys know, or Docker server, that particular, or service instrumentation. So everything you can do, right? If we have a data, and the data depend what your need is. If you just want to monitor their RAM, CPU, and all those things, so the data that you collect is always called metrics. Okay, but if you collect the data, you have to store somewhere in some database. So we need one program who manage this database, and who store all the metrics here. So one of the great program is Prometheus that you guys know. Okay, so Prometheus is one who collect. So Prometheus go to your app server, Apache server, download all those metrics and store in their time series database. Okay, so you have to just tell only one thing, tell Prometheus where you to go and download. And when they download, the system where they go is called target. So this application is target. So to tell the target to the Prometheus. The only challenge is when Prometheus is going to some target give them the information, or the information they give, right, should have some format. So what information you are giving? Okay, the information means the metrics, whatever they are giving, okay, should in such a format that has a key and value. Let's say key is your total number of RAM you used, and value you have, let's say 1 GB. So have in this format RAM with some value. Okay, so Prometheus only understood some format that's called Prometheus own format. It means from wherever you are retrieving the information or the matrix, they have to give the information in the format the Prometheus understood. If Prometheus doesn't understood, they won't know, they're not able to understand how to store in the database. And you can't use PromQL query language to query those information. And that is a reason if we use node exporter here that we keep on using. Okay, so whatever information they retrieve, they convert this information into a format, something like key and value format that Prometheus understood. So Prometheus can go, okay, get this information and store in the database. And getting this information is called scraping. They scrap this information and store in the database. Okay, there's the one small thing. So why I'm explaining this point, because the important key term here that you have to understood, but before they let me launch my OS, the important thing that you have to understand here is Prometheus only store those information that you provide to Prometheus. Obviously Prometheus go and download, but this information they have into the Prometheus format. So till now, all the agent program we use or the exporter we use as a target, they always provide the information into a format that Prometheus understood. Either use node exporter, or one of the example I show you about Docker. So in the Docker, we haven't used exporter because Docker has their own way to expose the metrics. So whatever the metrics information they expose, by default, they're exposing it to a format that Prometheus understood. That is the reason, guys, in the Docker world, sorry, we don't have to do much. Just expose it, and after the expose, we ask Prometheus go to the URL and get the data into that database. But in some of the example, okay, or some of the services we have, like Apache web service, very common service. Okay, and if you try to find agent program for the Apache web server, technically known as exporter. So typically there's no as such exporter available for Apache. Even though you can find, but I say there's no as such. They won't give the thing that we want exactly. Because there's no as such exporter available in the Apache. But even though Apache web server has the internal capability to expose their metrics, exactly like a Docker. So we can go to Apache web server, expose the metrics of the Apache web server. Okay, exactly the way we do we have done in the Docker. But the challenge is the Apache server expose the metrics, right, in a very different format. And the format that they use, it is not compatible with the Prometheus. That is the challenge. Okay, so what we have to do, if you would like to instrument or if you would like to monitor Apache web server, okay, first of all, you have to expose the metrics of the Apache web server. Then after you expose the metrics, but the format they use and the way they're showing the metrics, that is not compatible to the Prometheus, then I have to convert this metrics into a format that Prometheus can understand. Right, so let's see how we can go on. So guys, it's a very different flavor actually. So again, I'm going to do the same practical. I'm going to sorry, attach one more new target to the Prometheus. But today my plan is to attach a target from Apache web server, because this will give you some more new concepts about some more new kind of targets. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. So in my case, my Prometheus server is running on the Kubernetes and at this particular port number. Okay, so let me take this guy, and by the meantime, also let me log into this OS. So Prometheus is running in my system in my node port IP100 and this port number. And this is new Prometheus. Actually, after we restart, that port terminate and it become a new port. Okay, so they Prometheus only monitor their own Prometheus program. Okay, so they monitor. But if you want to monitor other node, how to do very quickly? Let me show you this practical again. So I would like to monitor this node. Plus, I would like to monitor one more node to show you some more practical. And one more thing, guys, I'm doing for today's practical. What I'm doing to give some more flavor. Actually, what I'm doing. This is my one more Red Hat system, and what I'm doing. This is powered off right now. I am going to settings, and in this setting, I'll go to my system. Then I go to processor, and I'm increasing one more processor here. So in this system, I will have two CPU. Why? In some of the practical, we're gonna use this today. Okay, so okay, so I have one more VM. This VM has two CPU, maybe 4 CPU, it depends, right? And let me launch this particular VM. So what is my plan? My plan is to do monitoring, okay, of to this node, and also in this node, plus also to monitor one web server in this node, plus also the monitor Docker in this node. So 4 things we are going to monitoring today. Okay, so let me very quickly launch my node exporter. So in this system, my Docker is already running. Okay, and the last class, you know, I started the port on the Docker, so you can use this command to search Docker. Sorry. Okay, it is not running. So in the last class, you know, this one file I created here, I think I removed. So file is demon.json. So this file we have created in the Docker, right? Let's forget Docker because we already did the Docker part. Let's go for a very different topic, right? So so my plan is to monitor this system. Okay, so I'm running my node exporter. So I'm not using no hub. I explained what is no hub, right? And I'm running this program in the background. So this part you guys know. So this system will start exposing their metrics on the port number. By default, they use port number graph 9100. So they start exposing 9100. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'll go to my Prometheus, and right now my Prometheus is running on this port. So I'll go to kubectl command, execute inside this particular port of my Prometheus. This part of the SS bus. Go inside the Prometheus configuration file. Okay, and in this file, I'm writing my one more new job. So let me copy. So this job will gonna monitor my node number 1. Okay, and IP of my this node is 192.168.0.19. I think 101. Let me check. And this is the port number. So this part you guys know. Let me check. Similarly, I would like to do one more thing. I have one more node. Okay, that I'm launching in a minute. So this node is IP2. Okay, and this IP might be 1 or 2. Okay, so this is the node I just launched. 1 minute. But this node has again same Red Hat, but only difference is this node has 2 CPU. Why? Because some of the query I'm going to use this. Okay, so these 2 things we already done. Actually, this is a quick revision for you. So this is not my plan for today. My plan is to have the data so we can do write some extra advanced queries. And I'm just finding the Prometheus process ID. so I can restart the service. That's all. So Prometheus has been restarted because I changed something in the configuration file. Okay, and now if I go to Prometheus, what you will see, they start scrapping 2 more targets. So if I refresh, you can see 2 more target is unknown, but it's come up in a minute. Initially they started, but it will come in a minute. It will up. It is down because I haven't started the exporter in IP102. So this is my IP102. Very quickly, let me check ENP0S8. And here also, I am starting the node exporter. Same command, no hub, node exporter, start. That's all. So now we are instrumenting to node, but my plan is to instrument Apache web server. But notice one more thing, guys. I want to show you a very small thing. It's very important. Right. Right now, whenever you start exporting or start targeting any node, it automatically being tagged with some labels. And you guys, I think you guys know the power of labels or the tags. We use this concept a lot in the Kubernetes. So labels is a way to filter something. So this particular node IP101 has a tag called job equals to node 1. This system has a tag job equals to node 2. So when you're searching and you're looking for information, everything that's coming from job equals to node 1. Okay, you can execute. Here they're giving the error because your value is node 1 is string. You put it in the single quote or double quote. So it gives you only the information. If you see, guys, all the information are coming from node 1. So tag is always good to filter the things. Okay, filter things. So this tag, they already automatically attached. Let me give one very more simple example here. Again, if I just wanted to search all the memory that's free, it gives you for both the nodes. But here, if you have a requirement to search only node 1, this query we've seen multiple times. So we can write this thing here. So now they show me or they filter me, or I can say I'm using this label to select this information or I'm filtering this information. So they show me. So again, this query we've seen in very advanced already, how to filter or write some regular expression. But this node 1 and node 2 name come from where? So from a configuration file, right? These are the name we used here, node 1. So whatever name you use, job 1 or job 2, right? Same name they use as a tag. But sometimes this name might be so much give so much sense, right? Always give some tag name that makes more sense. Okay. So instead I use my tag name, this one. I keep on using it doesn't matter. But if you want to attach some more tag name, let's say your plan is to use this VM in the production world. Your plan is to use this VM in the testing world. So you can attach one more extra label. So multiple labels you can attach. So for this, we have option here, labels. And here you can attach multiple labels. Right? For example, one of my label is my environment is testing, or let's say development. So this IP would be let's say production. So this IP is a part of my production environment. Or this node is a part of. So I'm setting the labels here. Similar concept that we have done in the Kubernetes, and this is a part of my development environment. So you can attach multiple labels, or maybe this is the part of my Linux VM, or the part of my Red Hat VM. Okay, or this is part of my data center 1 region US. So you can set the labels also. So how label help you in the future? Multiple searching we can have. If I ask, just show me all the detail of production systems. Maybe I have multiple OS running the production system. So job name should be unique. You should be unique, right? But multiple node, you can give the same tags. So in the future, if somebody asks you, just show me the total number of count of production system. I can search for production system and then we count. Or somebody asks me, can you tell me the total number of byte transfer from data center 1? So in my data center 1, I have 10 server running. I give all the guys same tags or the levels. So I can search. Data center goes to 1 and then we count it. How to count, how to sum, we will see. Gonna see today. But tags is very, very powerful thing. We need a lot. Multiple different queries. We can multiple different management even. It's not query management. We can do very easily in the production in the monitoring world. So let me restore my service again. And now what you will see, if you go to the targets, you can see these nodes will have sorry, one more tags. This one, right? So let me refresh again. It's up. Now from onwards, when I querying, if you have a requirement to search all the node who are the part of production. Right now I have only one, but they show you. So they show you all the nodes who are the part of production. Even though you guys know this query up. So show me all the node that is up in the production world. They show you only one we have. Okay, but maybe have one production, you have 10 server running, but maybe 2 is up, they show you. Okay, and guys, here up doesn't mean the OS is running or not. Up means you're scrapping. So whenever Prometheus go to your node, and when they'll scrap last time, after every 15 seconds they scrap. Scrap means they go and retrieve the metrics. So this one means the last scrap was successful. And why is successful? Obviously you have the connectivity. Obviously your node is running. Obviously your what do you say? Your node export is also running. Multiple reasons might be. But this up, some guys think this up means your node is running. It's not about node. It's up is a one function or the one query or the metrics they have. It means your last scrap was successful. Obviously because you have the connectivity. Right? This is one thing. So this setup we have done. Before I go for further practicals, right? I would like to show you this practical first. How to instrument Apache Web Server. Okay, so for this, what I'm doing, I already have in one system Apache Web Server running. How to configure Apache Web Server, everybody know. So this system, I already have Apache Web Server running. Or is not running? Let me start. So this system running with Apache Web Server. Okay, so this is what we have. 1 minute, let me stop that, otherwise they keep on buzzing. Okay, so and this I have this folder here. So intention, guys, here is I will have to check, okay, total number of requests coming to Apache Web Server. I would like to check the total number of resources, RAM and CPU used by Apache Server. I would like to check my Apache Server is running or not. It's failed or it's not running. So I would like to check the metrics of the Apache Server. My intention is not, I would like to check who is coming, from which IP is coming. If this is the requirement, then we have a log concept that we're going to discuss in the next week in ELK part, right? But my intention is to check the information about Apache Web Server, which means I will have to instrument my Apache Web Server. And for this, there is no as such exporter available. Okay, even though if you just search exporter, they might give you HTTPD exporter for Prometheus. They might give you some name, but they're not actually pure the way exporter we are using. This exporter they have here. But if you go here, they redact to GitHub. And here they give you some code, and this code you have to compile, and this code they write in Go language you have to compile. Okay, but they tell you one more thing here. So if you go down, they tell you one more thing. Okay, by default, your Apache Web Server, okay, are the one. So you can think in this way. By default, the way this exporter work. So this is Apache Web Server. Okay, Apache web server has to first expose or export their own metrics. It is something like the concept that we have done in the Docker. And for this, and Apache server has this capability. So in the Apache server, there's one configuration file. This is the file of the Apache server. So every server program normally have their own configuration file. So this is the configuration file for the Apache web server. Here in this file, somewhere you just go and write. So let me write here. Okay, let me write here. So here you have to tell. By default, Apache server doesn't expose due to security, right? So here you can tell, right, that I would like to expose my metrics. And you guys know when you expose any metrics, you always give some URL. For example, in Docker, I give you some path and the port number and there's some folder, / metrics, something. So here you have to give a location, which folder we can access the metrics. So you can give any folder name, but in the standard in market, mostly we use a folder called server-status. So anybody who come to my this Apache web server in this particular folder, they will see my metrics of Apache web server. So there's a location we start, we close, and the main keyword is this one. Okay, so we want our server will handle, all right, the server status or the metrics. So for this, they have one keyword here called server status. So technically, those who know Apache web server in detail, they might know this keyword. You don't have to know everything, right? But my main intention that you guys understand here is, right, Prometheus say I can only retrieve those metrics of those server who give to me. If web server is not giving the metrics, how they can access? That's the point. So in the Apache web server, in Tomcat, in databases, everybody has their own way to expose the metrics or the information. And in the Docker, I show you, and this is the way we can do in the Apache web server. Okay, because I do some change in my service, in my config, you have to restart the service. But before I do a restart service, I just want to show you what I have there. So my IP is 101. So as a client, if I go to IP 101, and now here if I go to file called the path that I use is called server-status. Okay, it is showing. I think as I already did initially IP 101. Okay, well normally you have to restart. I don't know, they're not asking to restart, but normally you have to restart. Or maybe by default they have the options enabled. Maybe. So normally we have to restart, otherwise it won't work. But maybe most of server this path is disabled. Maybe by default they have enabled. But technically that's what I'm talking about. So 1 minute. Let the service start. So this is the folder. This is the folder or the path, right, where Apache server is giving their status. And what they're showing you, I'm showing you that I am an Apache web server. This is the time where you guys restarted me. So guys, I just restarted my server. So they give this information to you. Okay, they give me information about the server load, the total number of CPU load I have. This is the information they give you, the total number of access or the total traffic being shared. Okay, so technically they are showing you the information about the server. So let's say in my server, my client is accessing this site. 1 minute. So my client accessing this site, IP 101. Hit. Well, let me refresh multiple time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Multiple time I'm refreshing. So these information, web server is now storing their own. Okay, and as a web server admin, if they want to check the status, they come to this page, and now if you see the total access was very less, but if you check it now 15 times. So 15 times this web server has served the request to the client. Total this much byte transfer, total duration, total CPU load, right? So these are the metrics of Apache Web Server. Okay, so Apache Web Server or Docker, whatever you're using, they have to share these metrics. That's cool. They have to export the metrics. But the only challenge we have is our plan is to store this metrics in the Prometheus database. But the format they are using, right? So you can see guys, format in one single line, we have access, we have traffic, we have time. This is not the format of the Prometheus. If you want to see the format of the Prometheus, there's support. So if I go to my Prometheus dashboard again, format. Okay. So if you check any of the target URL, let's say this one. Okay. So this node is also exposing their metrics, but the format they are using is what? This one. So every line, they have one key, one value. One key, one value. With one space. There's no equal to, there's no call. So every line is one matrix. Every line is a one information. Okay. So this is the format of the Prometheus. Good thing is Docker by default shared in this format. So in the last example of Docker, I show you was working fine. But Apache is not converting into this format. So what can we do? We can create our own code that convert this format into the format that Prometheus support. Or either you do, or some community guys from the from the Docker or from the Prometheus, they have done this. So they created some code in some language. By chance they use Go language. Okay, they use Go language and they create this code and they say if you run this code, this code will convert your Apache metric information into a format that Prometheus support. And for this, they give some code. So either you go and run the code, or what I've done, I compile this code and I store into one Docker image. Okay, so if you go to my Docker Hub, so today I uploaded this image. So this image have this code I'm talking about here, this image. So today, 5 hours ago, I export this image. Okay, so this image. So when you run this image, automatic this image, let me show you. It's a Vimel 13 Apache exporter. So when you run this image, Docker run Vimel 13 / Apache _ exporter. Okay. Let me, because this image behind the scene also give you help. When I run this image, OS launch and OS will give you some help. They give some help. And what help they're giving you? The help they're giving you, they're telling you, just give me the URL of your scraper. Where is the location of your metrics of Apache server? And guys, this is the same location, server happen status. Here they write auto, so automatically they keep on refreshing. Okay, so this is the image, right? What this image will do? So technically you think in this way, right? So what is our intention is? Our intention is pretty simple, right? I would like to run a program. What this program will do? They will go to this URL or Apache. Which one? This URL. Download this information. And convert this information into this format. Which format? The format that Prometheus support. And after they convert, this program again expose this thing in the metrics. They give their own port number and they expose it. And then I'll tell my Prometheus to come to this URL. Don't go to this URL. If you go, you can access, but you won't be able to understand the format. So I'll tell my Prometheus, come to this URL running by this program. And what do you find? You get a matrix. for the information. But which format? Your own format. So from where they are getting the data? They're getting data from actual system, from where you guys are looking for. So there's different kind of architecture they're proposing and they're doing here. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. So for running this program, right, we have a Docker image. This image, we have a capability to go and download this information. And for this, we have an option called -- scrap UI. Here you have to give your Apache web server URL. And Apache will be running anywhere in the world. You just give the URL. Okay. And then, because this is a program, this program also has some port number. By default, they will have a port number called 9117. This is the port number they work on. So we will do patting here. And we give this port number to the Prometheus. And say Prometheus, we would be anywhere. Just come to my system on this port and get the data. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. So, so I'm just copying this data from here, and I'll write here. So I'm going to launch this OS with this option. And right now, guys, my Apache web server running anywhere in the world. But in my case, my Apache web server is running on IP 101. Same URL, server status. It's running on IP 101. So what this image do? Right, as soon as I run this OS in background, if you want to give the name, let's say this is Apache exporter. Just give some name. So as soon as I launch this OS from this image behind the scene use some program. They keep on going to this Apache web server. They retrieve all the information, convert this information into the Prometheus, and then they expose the Intel program. So the Intel program running on 9117, right? And I'm exposing the same port. Even if you want to change, you can change it. So they are running on port number 9117. So I'm exposing it. So why I'm exposing? Because this Docker is my OS, right? So I'll give my Docker IP and port number to what? I'll give to the Prometheus and say, I'll tell my Prometheus, for you target is this. This is your target. But these are the one, and this is the program who give you your metrics. It doesn't matter from where I'm picking up, but I'm the one who is giving to you. Okay, so that's what setup I've done here. That's all. Docker launch. Okay, so this is the very different practical. So it depends, guys. Target to target thing is vary. Target to target thing is vary. So in the Docker, we put in the config file, and Node, we have extra exporter come up. Apache, they export, but some other program convert their format into the Docker format. Now, anybody who know my base system IP, they come to this IP on this port. To whom they connect to this OS. Let me show you. So anybody come to this IP and port number 9117, they get this data. It's 9117, right? 9117. Why not working? Okay, it's not working. Why so? One minute. Is failed. Why is failed? So I missed something. So I run the Docker d. I give some name, even the name is not important. It doesn't matter. But Apache Vimal 2 image name scraper URL is important. One more try, because normally sometime we have to give the port number before the image. So before the image, I'm giving port number 9117, and just give the image name, OS name different. Okay. Yeah, this is the reason actually. So depend where you're giving. It depend. Okay. Now this is the, and now if you see guys, Prometheus guys always retrieve the metric information from one URL, and this URL should have slash metrics as the endpoint or as the path. And now if you see guys, this format is now the format that Prometheus support. Every line is a key value pair. So there's a key value. Prometheus is a matrix value. This is the format Prometheus support. So I'll tell my Prometheus, now this is your target. Who is your target? This is your target. And how you tell to the Prometheus? Obviously you have to go to Prometheus configuration file. And here, just add one more target. And say I have one more target I would like to run the job. This is Apache server, let's say 1. Running on IP address 101. Port number is 917. And by default, they always go to this folder. There is an intelligence heading. They always go to the metrics folder only. 9117. Okay, and all good practice to give the target levels. Let's say this is also my system who is working on the production system. So this target is also for production, but this is node. This target is also having production, but this is Apache server. Okay, multiple levels you can give here. So finally, we have done this, and let me restart my services. That's all. Now, if you go to Prometheus, you can see some more targets come up. So where am I, Prometheus? Where it is? So Prometheus is running on this port number 192, 168, 99, 100. So you have one more target come up, and this target is Apache, right? Is up with this levels. Okay. Now, if you want to do some query on the Apache, you can write. For example, normally they start with Apache only. Apache access total. Okay. So they show you the total number of requests till yet. So in this particular Apache server, I got total 19 requests till yet that we have given. Or maybe you have some Apache for production, some Apache for developer or testing world or environment. I can write here, just only show me those information Apache web server that is running in the production world. So give me this information of the production world. So till yet I got 20 requests. But if I go to my Apache server, right? Or even though you guys know I can expose my Apache server to you. So very quicker practical I'll do. So you know ngrok, right? So I'm using ngrok here, and I'm exposing my HTTP protocol. Okay, now everybody has access to my ngrok. Now, if you guys connect to my server, you have this URL, right? I says if you can connect to me. So if you if you connect to this URL, okay, connect to your URL, you get Apache server access. Some of the guys has connected. Server access, one guy is connected, and when you connect, your information is being recorded, right? Your IP is also being recorded, but the log is different perspective. But total number of requests, my load on the server, it is being recorded. So if I again hit 51 requests in totality, I have. Okay, or even though I just use job Apache 1, just give me all the information of job Apache 1. They show you. So these are total information we have in detail. So total number of reply, request, busy, ideal, RAM, they show you. So of Apache thing they are showing you. Okay, so depend on what exactly you are looking for. Okay, so let's say Apache connections. So this is the total connection we have. Okay, state total state we have. If I again run, okay, it's like 1. It is live connection I'm talking about, because a lot of guys are connecting live, right? So there's a live connection I'm talking about. Maybe after some time if I run, it might be 0, maybe more, right? And guys, they keep on fetching every 15 seconds. So this is before 15 second record, right? If I again execute, so this is the last 15 seconds that they are showing you. Okay, and Apache server CPU load. So this is total CPU load we have. Okay, total CPU load we have in current time, or maybe in the last 15 seconds. Okay, so you can see that there are a lot of new metrics come up. Total sand kilobytes, kilobytes. So total in totality, guys, till 136 byte has been sent. The total thing they sent till now in this particular system. If you go to graph, you can see this study. Suddenly you can see suddenly hike come up, right? Spike come up. Suddenly spike come up, sudden, right? Why? Because I open my my web server to you, and most of guys I start hitting my server. So I got a live Skype here, or hike here, or spike here. Okay, that's what you are seeing here. Execute now, more bytes been transferred. So this is the metrics information, right? And this is the value, right? So every server, every node, every export has their own metrics, right? Depend which from where you're getting. So Docker has their own, node has their own. They are keep on having, right? So let me first stop this guy. Okay. So let's do some more things. So we are going to use this information to do multiple things. But let me start from one by one, right? So let's do from here. Let's say one example here. Let me retrieve information for about CPU ideal or CPU node CPU total seconds. Okay, this is the information. Now what, if you notice here, right, normally metrics name start from this is the name actually, but they normally give the name in such a way. By looking at the name, we come to know is the node metrics or Prometheus metric or Apache metric or container metrics. So this is the metrics or the key for the CPU for the nodes. But right now I have 2 nodes. Okay, and what they're showing you? Okay, in node number 2, I have 1 CPU. In node number 2, I have 1 more CPU. But in node number 1, I have only CPU 0. Why? I told you guys when I launched this OS. In this OS, I'll add 1 more CPU. So this system has 2 core, or this system has 1 core. So they're showing you here. And what they're showing you here is, on node 2, CPU number 0, the idle time is this one. And the idle means this is one idle, means in CPU, normally CPUs keep on doing for you. But this idle show you the total time the CPU till the system start or this till particular time, right? CPU is sitting idle. They're not doing anything for you. So in my node number 2, my core CPU number 1, first CPU core is idle this much second. I think in the seconds that they are idle. But in the same node, CPU number 1, they are idle for this much time. Okay, so they are showing you this much time. So if you have a requirement, to only check how much time your CPU idle, obviously you can search and search in this way. They show you, right, in node 2, my first core, second core idle for this much times. Okay, if I can execute after 15 seconds, because my data has come on after 15 seconds, you can see this time it will increase. or whatever the number would be, the current status, right? Okay, but if you want to check, how much CPU work for you, obviously, if I remove this time, let me first share this query to you. Okay, so if I remove this part and if I search here, so if you notice here in node 2, for same CPU0, the multiple mode: ideal, IO wait, IRQ, nice, soft IQ, still, system, users. Okay, so in system, CPU guys no use of CPU guys, where the program run. Okay, but system maintain multiple information of CPU. How much time your user use your CPU? This much time. How much time your CPU is made by Intel system thing? This much time. How much time your CPU is waiting for your IO? Sometimes you copy for hard disk is slow, CPU will keep on waiting, but they have to wait this much time. So it's not about this training is not about the performance tuning training. If you go to performance tuning, we discuss more about IRQ and nice and all those concepts. But technically, okay, for one CPU, the multiple metrics they write. But all these metrics means CPU has done something for you. But this is the only metrics, right, where CPU is not doing for you. So my intention is, what I want to create a query where I would first want to see the total number, the total time utilized by CPU to do something. So obviously, guys, I don't need this. First of all, I don't need ideal. First of all, and how to remove the ideal, you guys know how to remove it. So now they won't show you the ideal. Only this information come up. Now what I don't want to see my CPU information, right? Like IO wait separate, IRQ separate, nice separate. I don't want to see this. Okay, because I know CPU0 is one core. From here to here, CPU is doing something for you. So I would have to count these guys or sum these guys, not count, sum these guys. Okay, so technically this concept is known as, right, what I want to count this, so sum these numbers, because my intention is I will have to check on node number 2, CPU number 0, right, CPU number 0, or the total number of time they spend to doing something, or maybe node number 2, CPU number 1, how much time they spend to doing something. So this concept is known as aggregation. I would have to aggregate multiple results. Okay, aggregation. So if anybody have learn SQL or any data analytics, this is the common concept we use a lot. So in the aggregation, what do you want to do? I want to aggregate multiple results. For what? For sum, to count. So here I would have to sum. There is no meaning of count here. Okay, why? There's no meaning to count. It's 7 times come up, right? Here, I would have to sum these guys. So I would have to aggregate, and what in aggregation, what you want? You want to sum it. That's what you want. Okay, so how to sum? So for this, we have one function here called sum function. Okay, so we ask sum to do the sum. So if you run the sum function, so first we write a query that filter data, what we need. This one we need. Then I ask these guys to sum. So we can use sum, it will sum. So they show me the total number of time in totality. But this is not the thing I want actually. I would like to aggregate per mode wise. Okay, so technically I don't want to sum the complete. What I would have to sum per mode wise. Okay, so they pick all the mode and the sum. Then they pick all the mode, then the sum. Okay, so depend how you want to aggregate. For example, I would like to sum. Okay, I would like to do the sum of this guy. Okay, and if you want to use the aggregation, right? So how you want to aggregate here? So notice here, guys, everybody here, right? For example, I would have to aggregate per node wise. For example, I want to see in this node, so many total CPU used, with includes CPU 1 and CPU 2. In this data, there's so many total. So how this data differentiate from this data? The only differentiation is job equals to node 1. So job is a one key that differentiate this part or this part. So what I'll say, my sum, I want you to aggregate by job as a keyword. Means in this data, okay, wherever you see job, okay, and similar value, node 2, from here till here, when you see same data, just sum these guys and give me one result. Then node 1 is different. So from here till here, sum these guys and give me the result. This is sum by is one keyword here. So whenever you use by, it means we would like to aggregate. And how you want to aggregate? Per mode wise, per job wise, per CPU wise. So I am per job I'm aggregating. So they show you. What they show you in node 2, total number of CPU we don't know, but total CPU is being used is this one. Total number of CPU is being used is this one. That's what they aggregate, and we have sum it, so they show the sum. But if your requirement is not to aggregate per node wise, but in the node wise also per CPU wise. So what I would like to do, aggregate with node. By node 2, right? This show me in node 2 CPU 0, this must sum. In node 2 CPU 1, this is the sum. Then again I will have to sum first of all. To which part you know sum? This part. Sum is the function here. And then what you want to do? Aggregate. Then we have the by keyword for aggregate. How you would like to aggregate? Okay, how you would like to aggregate? So here I would like to aggregate using a node plus also using CPU. So here they show you node or the CPU. Or I have to use CPU, let's say CPU and then node. I think this might be syntax. 1 minute. What is the syntax we can use? Mode. We can write one more time. 1 minute. CPU. Let's again agree with the node. Sum by node. No, why don't it's not coming right? 1 minute. This show me all, and I would like to aggregate with CPU. So I just say just show me the CPU. So again same. I don't know why it's not working. I think something is missing. Sum then by CPU, or let's say by node. What happened? Why is it not coming? Sorry, not node, actually it's job. Sum by job. Okay, they come up, right? And then I would like to also sum using CPU. I think it's working. I don't know why it's not working. Maybe in the last I used node, I don't know why. So it's working. So that's what I want. Okay, so what we are doing now, we can see in node 2 CPU 1 use this much CPU. Node 2 CPU 1 second this one, and second node this CPU this one. So technically what we have done is a very, very great queries, or we keep on using this query a lot. Okay, what we are doing here, right? Let's take one more flavor here of this query, then you understand more. Let's take one more query. If you talk about the file system is a partitions. Okay, so a node file system. 1 minute. So what I'm doing, I'm using node file system is a one matrix here. What is show you on node number 2, you have multiple partitions created: first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Multiple partitions created. Node number 1, again you have multiple partitions created. What I want, okay, I would like to see the total number of partition on node number 1, size. So this is the partition on the node number 1. This is the size in some kilobyte or maybe bytes. This second partition on node number 1, so node number 2, this is the size. So what I want, I would like to see the total size. And now the sum you want, how? Per node wise. And how node is stored? Node is stored with the job. So job is the key that manages the node. So job either is node 1, job is either node 2. So what I'll do, I'll ask my sum function, sum this guy. Okay, but not give me the total sum. Give me sum by the job. Okay, so whenever you find job value same, node 2, node 2, node 2, sum it. And when you find a job value different, sum these guys. That's what we want, right? I want to sum this guy separate, or I want to sum this guy separate. So they show you. So in node 1, this is the total sum of bytes we have, or kilobytes we have. Node 1, node 2, this is the total sum of bytes we have. We can get it. And this is the real time here. So maybe, because obviously the size of partition doesn't change, but if you search for memory, they keep on changing, CPU they keep on changing. So this is real time they're showing you. Okay, so this kind of aggregation you can do here. Okay, one more way we can also do the same thing. All right, I would like to, even there is one more concept like by. Instead of by, let's say take one more same example. So if I search for node CPU total, node CPU total. Okay, and what I'm asking, I'm asking to give me sum of this guy, but not total. I'm asking to sum without mode. Without mode. It means, okay, I don't want to use mode. Just remove the mode and accordingly sum it. Okay, so they remove the mode here, plus they use the mode to sum. So whenever they have the same, so technically they remove the mode and they create, they sum it, a similar job. So again, let me repeat what I'm talking about. Again, this is again one kind of aggregation. If in this query, if you see here, all the data, we have CPU, we have environment, we have instance, we have job, we have mode. So if I remove all the modes, then this part and this part is same, right? It's same. And this part is same, there's no meaning to show this separate. So rather than we show this part separate, we can sum it. So that's what we are doing here. I'm asking my sum function to sum, but before the sum, okay, before sum, right, sum it without the mode, right? Remove this tag. If you remove, then what do you see the unique thing? So this part is one thing, this part is same, till here, this part is same. Sum it, right? So this is again one more other way to do the things. So what do you find in node number 2? For CPU 0, this is the memory. Node number 2, CPU 1, this is the memory. But you want to again aggregate per node wise. So maybe this is node 2, node 2. Maybe 2 CPU, but I would have to count, just to give me the count of this node, give me count of this node. So again, I can write one more query here. So again, I put this data inside one more sum. One more sum. And I ask again sum by what? By job. Okay, so when you see the same job, aggregate this. Now aggregate. So we can write one inside other. Is a nested kind of thing we can do. So this is one of the examples. So by is a one keyword, or without is a one keyword that we use a lot in the aggregation. Okay, this is one small thing. Let me tell you some more example here. Okay, there's one more. If you guys ever work on Linux operating system, okay, normally in the Linux operating system, the main core, or in any of the OS, the main core is your kernel. And if you want to see your kernel version, this is the command normally we use. This showing your kernel version. And depend the kernel version, your capability change. Right. So kernel is the one who gives you the capability. Kernel is the one who decides which program, which driver they support, multiple things we have. So we have one metrics for this. So it is node uname info. It will give you the all the node, whatever you have connected, their node 1, their version of the kernel is this one. Node 2, version of the kernel is this one. So you know what happened normally? Kernel version decide which kind of application we can launch. Maybe let's say before kernel 2.6, Docker doesn't support. So they have a start support of 2.6, or after 3 version the support. So my plan is to deploy the Docker. Okay, but I want to see the total number of system. Okay, where they have version 4, version 5, or version 2, or something like this. The version is managed by the release. Okay, so I want to see all the same release. I will not count. For example, this release and this is the same. So rather than this show me 1 and 1 here, I just want to have only one single information by aggregating the results. So here also we can use, I will have to sum it. Okay, I will sum it. But here there is no meaning of sum. I will have to count actually. So I will have to count. Okay, count the number of system I have. This is the first node, I have a second node. But how I would like to count? I will have to count by release. Release. By release means just go to this data, see this version, go to this data, see this version. Whenever you have see same, just count it. Let's see, I have a 2 system with this version. But let's say I have one more system of Windows or Linux, other Linux OS, and if they find a new version like 3.8 or 4.2 or 5 point something, they show you this version. I have 2 nodes. That version I have 4 nodes. So we have come to know whichever the version Docker support. Accordingly, we can plan to deploy Docker or maybe some other applications. So here also we can find the total number of systems we have. So like this, we have multiple examples we can do here. Okay, let me tell you one more query here. So I have some Prometheus also showing you some metrics. So in the Prometheus. So there's one HTTP request total. So Prometheus is one application, right? So whenever you hit to Prometheus in this URL, in this URL, in this URL, they keep on recording. So in the Prometheus IP, in this URL, we have 267 requests come up. In this URL, they have 70 requests come up. Okay, so if you want to count the total number of requests, guys, there is no meaning of count, sum, right? Obviously, you have to go for sum function. Sum will give you the total request we have. Total right now, we have 381 requests come on the Prometheus. If I refresh after 15 seconds, you can see new data come up. But here you want to sum it, or you might have a different requirement, right? Your requirement might be sometime I got a code 200. When somebody come to this URL, they're successful. But sometime we have an error 400 or maybe some kind of redirect 300. So I want to see the total per code wise. So count all the 200, give me. Count all the 400, give me. So again, same example, no difference. So I would like to sum it, right? Count means 1, 2, 3, this will count. I don't want this. So this number 1, 2, and 3, I would just want to sum. But sum, what do you want to sum? So I want to sum by the code. So all the unique code, sum it. Then all the unique code, sum it. Then give me. I can see only in 400 error, I got 2 time error 400. Otherwise, almost every time my result from the Prometheus server or whatever the applications they are running was successful. So that's what you can do. Okay, but let me write some advanced query here. And after this, we will move to Grafana. So Prometheus HTTP request total again. Okay, to give you all the query. But let's say I just want to focus only in this particular URL. So this is one tag. So let me copy this tag, and you know how to filter. So I filter this one. So this is the total number of requests till yet on this particular URL. This total request right now. Let me execute. Maybe let's keep on increasing. Because the same page I am in. So if I refresh this page, obviously this number also will increase because the same URL I am in right now internally. So if I run again, it will keep on increasing. Okay, but you know what? I just want to tell. See, this is the total request right now. But if you try to draw this thing in a graph, okay, so it is something like this. Let's say it is like half an hour, maybe. Let's say from let's say at 10 o'clock today, I start this system, and right now it's like around 10:30. Okay, so maybe initially I have this request, then after 2 minutes I have 2 requests, then 1 request. So maybe after 4 requests, suddenly the request goes down. So I want to see this information, right? You know, this kind of graph. This is a technical rate actually. So what is the rate of request coming to this URL? Or what is the rate my RAM is keep on increasing? What is the rate my CPU is changing? So I have to keep on checking. So this is total. So in this case, there is no as such maybe sometimes maybe meaning. If somebody asks you, can you tell me the total number of product sell? So I can say, I can just go and check and say tell this total sum, or you can use the sum function here. Okay, but if somebody asks me, can you tell me a per day basis, right? The per day basis of product sell. So maybe you have a total sell or in a month, let's say 1,000 products. The total count. I don't want to count. What I want to see per day basis. So I want to see this. For example, maybe first there's this one, second there's this one, this one, this one, this. Keep on increasing, keep on decreasing. So I can see it when I do more sell, when I do less sell. So we can do some more further analysis. So this is called rate. You want to check. So you want to check rate per day basis, per minute basis, per second basis, okay, per month basis. So for this, we can use one keyword here to give the range, time range, like 5 minutes. Okay, so they give you a information. So right now they show me total right here. If they write here, they give me some information, something like this. The meaning, there's no meaning of this information. But if you go to the graph, again, there's no meaning here. Why? Because this is the time they retrieve internally, but we use this thing with a function called rate function. So what rate function will do? If you click here, they give me the rate. Again, there's no meaning of this value here. But if you see in the graph, then you can see this rate. Okay, this rate. So we have a continuous spike on 200. They keep on accessing because we could keep on refreshing this page. They just keep on coming. But suddenly I stop for some time, so it goes down. So there's a rate of my traffic coming to this page. So rate is very common for function we use. So whenever normally in the time series, right? Time series, you guys know. Time series we use a rate function a lot. Here again mention. So I want to see per 5 minute 5D means 5D. So there's no making 5D because my system is just started. So they doesn't show you interesting information. So 5D seconds. I think this might support seconds, maybe not. So minutes, day, month. You can write here. Okay, 5 minutes very typical example. We always check because obviously if you want to collect some information, Prometheus because just keep on collecting every 15 seconds. So if you want to check for 5 minutes, if you don't have the data, there's no meaning, right? So typically, if Prometheus is collecting information every 15 seconds. So in a 5 minute, how many information you have? Maybe around, like say 4 into 5, 20 information you have. So obviously, if you collect less information, so there's no meaning to decrease the time, because if you decrease the time, because there's not a lot of information. For example, in 1 minute, if you have only 4 information, you won't see a proper graph. There's no proper hike you will see. Okay, so lesser time you have, more time you retrieve, you get better result because you can compare. You can see between this 10 minutes, I have some high, some downtime or something like this. Okay, so rate is a very common operation. They show you the rate of change of CPU, rate of change of network packets come up, rate of change of applications goes down per quarter, the product sell, the frequency of the product sell, all the things you can see here. Okay, and one more interesting keyword I will to show you here is this information. They show you the real time. Whenever I run this, that particular point, if you see guys, and I run as is update here, so it's a real time. Okay, so what are data I have in the Prometheus? They show you, but sometime we might need to see the result, same kind of result maybe, but not the real time. What happened 10 minutes back, or what happened 1 month back. So I want to check my result, or want to maybe sometime compare my result, what happened 1 hour back. So if you execute, you can see this graph again update because they are picking from the current data. Okay, but there's an option here called offset. Let's say 20 minutes. Same graph come up, but this graph is an older graph, is like a historical data, your older data. And then they start showing data of 20 minutes ago. So this graph will create 20 minutes ago. So what I had at 20 minutes ago, they show me. Okay, so rate offset this over because this is a part of my inside this rate. This offset is a part of my of 1 minute. We write with the minute. So click now. We can see very flat here because 20 minutes ago I don't have so much traffic, so it might be some flat. Okay, let's say 5 minutes ago. Now that's makes sense. 5 minutes ago this was the downtime, and again 10 here if you see 10 minutes ago. So again maybe before 10 it might be very much. Let's see 30 minutes. We can change from here also. So this offset function we're going to use a lot. I show you some of the example in Grafana, right? So you want to see the total number purchase today or this month, and I would like to compare last year. So in the one graph, one single graph, both the graph come up, and so I can compare with this month and last month, today and the next day, yesterday. Okay, so there we use offset a lot. Okay, so let me show you. It makes more sense when we integrate with this query with the Grafana. Okay, so finally, this is the query of the PromQL. Okay, but what query will do? query will get the data. Okay, and this get data normally we visualize. Obviously, for visualize we need a graph. So this is very common graph they show you. But if you go for some more advanced fancy graph, so you guys know we have a Grafana for this. So what I'm doing, I have a Grafana port number and integrate this query to Grafana. You see how much advanced stuff now we can build. 99.100. And this is a new installation again. So let me very quickly log in the same account. Let me change the password. And I have to integrate with the Prometheus. And right now Prometheus running in this particular IP and port number. And just save and test. That's all. Prometheus connected. We have done multiple times. And the dashboard. So this is one dashboard I'm creating. And what is dashboard we discussed already. And we are going to add a new panel. Okay, let's do some core concepts here. Okay, first of all, guys, this is the dashboard. And so this is the dashboard, what I show you. In the dashboard, we are going to add one panel. First of all, it's always good practice to give the panel name. Let's say I would like to give my node information of my production system. Let's say production system. Give some port and node panel name. Okay, this panel name will come up here. Okay, let me save this. Okay, when you save, this time they ask you your dashboard name. You can create multiple dashboard. Let's say my Linux World Company dashboard, or depending on what kind of dashboard you want to save, just give the name. So there's one dashboard created, have only one panel, and there's a panel name we have given, but nothing is there because we haven't add any data. So how to add the data? For this, again, you'll go to the panel, edit the panel, again to come to the same page. And here you will tell the Grafana what is the data source. And data source for the Grafana is Prometheus. So here on the left side, if you see query, here you can see the data source name. And my data source name is Prometheus. I select the Prometheus here. So this panel will retrieve the data from the Prometheus, or maybe they retrieve the data from MySQL, or they retrieve the data from Cloud Watch, depending on all the connectivity that you connect, it will come up here. Okay, so now in this Prometheus, okay, they ask you to run the query, and this query will be run the Prometheus. So what query I would like to write? For example, I would like to write this query. Same query, read, execute. One minute. What happened? 10 minutes. This query. Okay, so just we write this query, test here, learn from here. I'll go to Grafana and put here. But understand one thing, guys, what this query will give you. This give you this kind of data. And this kind of data we always visualize in this kind of graph. This is called line graph. So depend, guys, which kind of data is keep on coming. So accordingly, you have to change the graph visuals. So this data can be visualized in the graph, means line graph. So select your visuals, then write your query, and let me write for like 5 minutes and do things. So this is the visual. So this particular matrix, this is the visuals we have. They show you here. Okay, this is the one thing. So always depend what kind of data is keep on coming. Accordingly, you choose the graph. What I mean by this, let me explain you one more example. You come to know. Okay, for example, let me save this query. We'll do a lot of things here today, but let me save this query. Okay, nothing to write. My dashboard save, apply. Now this is the panel created. Let me add one more panel in the same. My dashboard name is called My Linux World. This is a panel name. Let me add one more panel. Click. Again, this panel, I'm getting the data from Prometheus. And here I would have to show the count of web traffic. This is my plan. Okay, and you know, guys, web traffic come from a query called Apache connection. Okay, so they come from here. This is a connection, or maybe not actually exactly the connection. X is total. So these are total connections we have. But this connection, guys, is not right now. We keep on changing the connection. Okay, so if you see the graph, this is the graph. You keep on updating the connections here. Okay, so technically, if you have a requirement to just check the total connection, what I mean by this, if you write this query here, okay, this was the graph. Suddenly, you guys start connecting, and we have the keep on my connection is increasing. Okay, but if you try to understand, guys, there's no meaning to showing this number. Okay, for example, my number is keep on increasing. Obviously, if you are the web server, they never decrease. Okay, if I say that I am running with web page my.html. Okay, my.html. If client connect, 1 counter. Second client connect, 2. Second client, third client is 3. So it's called counter. So the data where you keep on hitting to server, it is and they keep on increasing is called counter. They never decrease. For example, till now I have 4 guys connected, but they never come down. Either they've been 3 or they might be go to 4. So this is called counter kind of variable or counter kind of matrix. So normally in the counter kind of matrix, right? We normally always want to see a rate. Sometimes we might know the total number of hit, but we always want to see the rate between this time how many client connect, between this time how many client connect, between this time how much client connect. So there you can see the spike or high or all the things. Okay, and when you want to see the rate, again same function come up rate. This makes more sense over here. Okay, rate. But rate, and you have to always give the range, time range in the rate. So I say 1 minute. This is called range vector. You give the range in the vector form. Okay, so I am not giving. 1 minute. Let me check. Apache rate. What is Apache connection? 1 minute. It actually depends upon the data type also. Let me check from here. This part. And yeah, the graph. 1 minute. Let me take a CPU example. Let's CPU node CPU second total. Okay, and let me check the sum of this guy. Okay, and the sum I would like to check per 5 minute with the rate. I'm just random time, for example. 1 minute. Let me pick some other example. I think you guys understood. So let me take the same example again. Or maybe same example what I show you, Prometheus. Yeah, this example I will show you. So let me pick this part. Prometheus, HTTP, Prometheus HTTP request. Come on here. 1 minute. Prometheus request where the query is. Prometheus HTTP request total. Okay. So I will have to check per 5 minute, right? And then I will have to use the rate. Okay. So now the rate, you can see this graph, right? So we are seeing the rate per 5 minute basis. So here now if you can go for Grafana and create this query and ask, this is the rate they created. So this particular, URL, they show the green color. This particular URL, they show you this color. You can keep on checking and do it and save it. So one more graph come up. Now this graph is they're showing per URL. So this URL, this graph, this graph, multiple things. Even though you can filter it or you can write the aggregator here. I show you. So let me go here and edit. And here, before we do the rate, we can do the aggregation, right? This kind of aggregation. So I say sum this guy by this one, by code. To whom to sum, this keyword to sum. This keyword sum start here. I think 3 square format. So we know this, and then I say sum by code. The example I'll show you. Sum this guy. Okay. And then sum, I just want to see the total sum. I want to see per minute basis, 5 minute basis. Okay, I think you have to write everything in this box. I don't know why it's working. Rate. Come on, right. But I think you got the idea, right? My plan is you can filter further, you can try it. But so they're showing. Second thing, you can also zoom this guy. It will zoom for you. You can see this information. Okay. So multiple things we can do. One more very quick example I want to show you here is if I add a panel. Okay, in this panel again, I'm getting the data from Prometheus, and what I'm doing, I just want to check, uname example I show you. Okay, so I would have to now here. I just want to, because what they show you the two Linux system, or maybe you can use the up function. Pretty straightforward, very simple. Up. So now this show you total number of system you have or the jobs you have, and now here you can go for count. So count is a one function that the count the total jobs you have. It's a fixed number, right? It's not changed per time. So there's no meaning of rate to write. Okay. So if you have anything like fixed, like sum or count is there's fixed, they're not keep on changing for time. So here in this panel, you can go for visual call states. Okay. And here you can write the query. So what this video show you exact number. They show you the exact number here, and now I don't know why they're showing this number last 12 hours. Yeah, there's a reason why they're showing this number, right? They're not showing the right number here. Why? I will explain you in a minute. Just give me 1 minute, please. I will explain you. Okay, so here you can write this count. So there's no meaning of graph. If you write the graph, there's no meaning here. Maybe they're showing you my node is keep on increasing. But if you are just interested in to see the number of products sell, the total number of system we have in the production, or total number of byte or transfer total yet. So just go for stats as a visual. But why are they showing this number here? Because behind the scene, whatever output they're giving you. So if you go, this is a query A, and there's option here. If you go down, right, in the states, if you go down, there's one here. They're giving the value as a mean. So I'm not asking the mean here. I am asking here to give me the the total value they give me. But here guys, if you go total, they give you the total, actually the total number of what do you say, the total number of records that they you have feed there. So again, maybe this might not work. This is a total count. I don't want to count. This is not the right query. One minute. I'm just randomly pick the query, so might be is not. But this query is just for example, if you search for this one here, so maybe this might make sense. Let's say the total number of Apache access total. Okay, this one. So this is the total here, 343. Now, if I fit this query, then I think it makes more sense here. Okay, access total. Okay. Okay, now here I can see the total or the max. The total this much of byte transfer. You're also asking to put the rate. So here they show you the rate. So initially I got just let me use the line graph. So this is a rate they show you. But if you want to go and show the state here in the same query, right? They show you the total transfer. Now here you can just go and change the count, right? There's no meaning of first here. Max, obviously there's no meaning of max, but in this query there's a meaning of count, or the average of query per come up, per queries, or I just use a total. So total makes more sense. The total number of queries been hit, or I think count might be the right one here, total count. Okay, some more advanced thing we can do here, guys. I just randomly picking the query, so maybe some of the query might not be very much linking here, but you just try, keep on changing, and depend which query you want to see what, you can check here. One more interesting thing you can see here is in the field. Okay, and this is very interesting because I want to check the total. What I want, for example, for me, right, suddenly if my hit increase more than 500, that's my threshold. So I want, as soon as my hit increase more than 600, 500, they change the color. So here you can set the threshold here, add. Okay, and here you can set the number here. For example, till 400, I just show me the color with yellow. Maybe as soon as my query hit above 800, just change the color. So anything below 400, just show me as a green color. Anything below 800, show me the yellow color. But as soon as they hit above, see, last 5 minutes, I have a 21. But as soon as they hit above 400, they change the color. Let's say for last 3 hours or 3 hours, this is the query. Or if I go for last, that's 24 hours. Again, because we just started, let me change this color here to 700. So this is a kind of threshold you can set. So by the color, you come to know if something critical happened. Sorry, I got the spike or some hike in my traffic. So you can set some threshold here, either absolute or the percentage wise. So multiple options you can set depend upon the queries you write. Okay, but normally this threshold we use a lot in the states functions. But similar states, we can also use the gas also. So they show you there's a kind of gas graph, and if you put in the real time, they keep on updating on the real time of this gas graph. Okay, and you also see if you want to see the count and sum. Plus, they also have a field for this counter. Okay, so in the gas graph, you'll see this color, and you can edit some options here. So you can set the term here according they change the color over here. So this is the gas graph they can show you. There's some more advanced option, bar gas. You can see multiple options you can select. So it's pretty straightforward. You just go and try, change some information. You can do it. Okay, but I suggest let's write some proper query. My final intention is to show you here is um, uh, depend which kind of data you want to put. So if you think you want to see the line graph, that's normally we use with time. So then go for the graph. But if you want to see the fixed value, or value is, it's like a meter is keep on updating, keep on increasing, decreasing, like a CPU load or RAM free. So then go for gauge graph. Number of cells, number of byte transfer, go for states graph. Okay. And afterwards, after you set the graph, then a lot of options here. For example, the graph that is showing is the time series, because time is there. But to change the format, you can change the table format also. There's no meaning of table format here, but you can change depend upon which kind of graph you have and different format here. Plus some more options you can set here. I were to see neither. I don't want to see the line here, right? Some graphs support bars. They show you see bars come up. So bars come up. So which kind of graph you want to see here, or you want to see go for line graph? Just go with. Just set the line width. Okay. This is the way curve line they have. But if you want to see the staircases kind of thing, this stair suddenly slope come up. So it's very clear to see if suddenly some number change. So those things you can fill the graph, this color. So those basic things you just go and try. Depend on the format or you want to visualize this. Okay, but one more interesting thing is this is the graph, right? Of the current time maybe. But you want to compare this graph with the query or with the data that you have 10 minutes before or 1 day before. So you can do one more thing. Same query you can write one more time by adding a query option here. So there's two query, A and B. I can write my one more times the same query. But at if you hit, you won't be able to see anything because the same data we have both the sides. But here we can use offset here. Offset here. And I'll tell my offset, just give me data 10 minutes ago. So in the B query, they give me 10 minutes older data, and this query will give me the data right now. Give me data right now. Okay, because the offset is always a part of with the same query. So they see the cover, see the data, right? So you can see this comparison. So on the real time, they are showing you. So this is the query, your older data, and this is the live data keep on coming. Or maybe if you just little change to 1 minute, maybe you can get something. Yeah. So you can see the comparison, right? So you can see 1 minute ago I have this spike, but this is the again same spike come up. Okay, because none of the guys are accessing my web server, but you just put in the real time. So in the real time, they just keep on refreshing. You can keep on comparing with the real time or with the those things. So if I refresh my web server page is where my web server is running 99, I think in 99 IP 101. Yeah. So if I keep on refreshing my pages, okay. So maybe in 5 seconds, they refresh, right? Because it takes some time, because you know what, it's a real time, but Prometheus first fetch my after 15 seconds, then they fetch for 5 seconds. So it depends, right? But my point is you can keep on comparing it, or maybe if you refresh, if they get the data over here. Okay, so multiple query if you can write, if you want to compare. Normally this offset we use a lot because I want to compare what is happening right now, what happened some second ago. They keep on doing. Okay, but always good practice to just check your queries from the prompt QL, what they are fetching. Just go and check what they are getting. Okay, or always just go and check Apache access total. Are they getting the data here or not? Okay, so 388. Let me refresh again. So 388, it is not coming. Let's wait for some time. So depending on the query, what you're facing, 380 and 99. So Prometheus load it, and maybe after some time you also see they will also load over here. This is a little bit older time. If you see, is a 10 uh, 10, but after, because right now time is 11. So now this is the guys. If you just keep on checking, now this is the point. So this is the current time. That's what it not visible there. Okay, so this is the current time. So I can see suddenly at this time, 11 1, this one is high. But just 1 minute ago, offside is 1. 1 minute ago, I had less. So I keep on comparing. Or now, if you refresh, you can see the real time. Okay, so just switch. Change the time. Just go forward, backward from here. Just go forward, backward from here. You can see the things. So this is the current time. Or even very quickly, if I again refresh multiple time. So Prometheus go load this matrix. Load this matrix 15 seconds ago. Take scraping time 15 seconds, and then they come up here in 5 seconds, and they show you in the real time. So very highly, I explain you multiple things. Some more examples we keep on discussing. Then some more thing come up. This is a legend format when you change. Just try it. Very straightforward over here. We'll talk about alert in the future, but yeah, otherwise very straightforward mode. Right now, you see guys, if I take the mouse, they show you all the information here. See here, but if you go to single value, right, they show you only single value. Only one value they're showing you. Okay, either this one or either this one. But if I go to all, so technically, if you are having multiple different values, it's very hard at some time to visualize. Sorting orders and increasing, decreasing. So those things you just go and try. Display. Okay, we want to change something in the, for example, this is your x-axis time, right? So in the time, you want to show the time? No, the time is removed, changed. Okay, so those things you just do and try. Time, or you want to see the histogram. So they create the histogram for you. But depend what exactly you need. Series, they show you exactly this one or this one. So there's no time series. There's only give the exact number. So depend on data, what you want to see, or depend on the query also, they will update you. Same with y-axis here. Okay, so in the y-axis, for example, there's nothing. Okay, for in the y-axis, this is the number they're coming. Sometimes, y-axis, they want to see a unit. So there are a lot of units here. For example, I'm going to show you the currency here. So for example, let's say I want to show, I think Indian rupees. So here they show the Indian rupees. Or temperature or some other units. So they have. Okay, linear function, base function, so multiple things. So very, very straightforward Grafana, very much clean graphical way to configure. But it's all about upon the query what you guys are writing. Accordingly, you can have your graph ready. Multiple graph create, it become your dashboard. Okay, it become dashboard, and you can drag this guy, make your fancy dashboard. Okay, so you can create this kind of dashboard where you're going to set this panel. You can set it. So just create the graph. They're showing this data. Give the panel name. You can take it live. So they keep on updating the live traffic. Change the time range. Which time range you want to see, last 10 minutes, 1 hour. They update the time accordingly. Okay, or last 5 minutes, they update live 5 minutes time, and also keep on refreshing if something is changed. That's all. So you can see the lifetime, they are on the real time, they are updating the graph. So different panel create, multiple queries, multiple maybe source also can use and create the panel. Okay, so that's all. Some more thing we might discuss in the future. Let me save again. After save, I can share this dashboard and multiple things I can download. Multiple things we can do. We will discuss in the future. But high level, very main core thing. about the Grafana and the Prometheus I discussed. But some more query we might see in the future if we need, and about the Grafana we also see. Okay, so that's all guys for today. Very quickly, because there's nothing fancy. It's all about practice. They keep on doing the practice. Finalize your query, and 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 depend what you need. It isn't about only technology. You can also put your data of your management also, your sales also, marketing also, right? So they need a data. They don't know what data you want to display. They just need a data. Okay, and they keep on updating this data for you. So very quickly, guys, any query if you have, try this. Otherwise, okay, one more very small announcement. Tomorrow, I am conducting one class in IIC Rise at 9:15. Then I am going to discuss about something about metrics, something about logs, and how to process the log. Okay, and plus some basics cron and tab scheduling. It's a Linux class actually, but I suggest if you guys not have the idea on the logs, do it, because from next week I'm going to we're going to discuss about ELK, Elastic Stack. They purely work on the log. So if you have the log idea of how it copied and where it is copied, something like this, so we can do much more thing in the Elastic Stack from the Monday class. So we will share the link to you. You can guys attend and about the log and the schedules. So anything else, guys, here if you want to ask? Alert we will discuss, Rakesh. Alert I haven't discussed. So we have alert both side and the Grafana side also, and we have the alert in Prometheus also. We'll discuss, and then I'll show you how to trigger the alert if something happened. Yes, Pankaj, we will discuss some more thing in Jenkins. Jenkins is not complete from my side. Guys, I believe normally I believe in the query world, it is all depend upon the practice.